grade 11 economics. We are in chapter that's talking about measures of central tendency in statistics for economics. We are in chapter 5. Right, children? So far we have spoken about the introduction, then we did collection of data and the classification of data. And further we moved on to talk about the presentation of data, where we have discussed various graph formats, various geometric diagrams, tabular presentation, what are the parts of the table. We have discussed various things. Now we have moved on to discuss about the measures of central tendency. What is it? It is basically the numerical method of understanding or explaining the data given. So we're going to find the average, okay? The most commonly used measures of central tendency are the arithmetic mean, right? Then the median and the mode. These are the three most commonly used measures of central tendency. And arithmetic mean is calculating the average of things using different methods. Okay, so we have two classifications here under this particular thing, calculation of arithmetic mean. We have discussed for the grouped data and ungrouped data. Right, children? So when we have in chapter 5, the measures of central tendency. So what do we have? We spoke about arithmetic mean, calculation of arithmetic mean. So that calculation is done in two different categories. One is for ungrouped data, another one is grouped data. What do we mean by grouped data, children? When we are talking about frequency, when we have the frequency distribution, we call it grouped data. Right, children? So just how we have the direct method, we have the assumed mean method and the step deviation method. And what did we discuss in these three methods? We discussed that in whichever method arithmetic mean is calculated, it should give the same answer. Whether you are using the direct method or whether you are using the assumed mean method or whether you are going to use the step deviation method, you are going to have the same calculation coming up, the same answers, the same arithmetic mean will be obtained using all these three methods. So direct method is when you have lesser number of values and the values are small, the figures are small, you go for this direct method. Assumed mean when you have the method, when you have the figures, large figures of the data is huge, then you go for assumed mean method, and then you have the step deviation method. Now what is basically the direct method? It's very simple. It is a summation of all the observations given divided by the number of observations. So how do you do it, children? It's marked as x bar, arithmetic mean. Right, arithmetic mean is marked by x bar. And how do you give it, children? It's given by sigma x by n. Right, children? How do you give it? Sigma x by n. Then we move on to assumed mean method, where we have an assumed mean. We choose one particular value, okay, as a, and with that you calculate the d values, then you proceed. So what is the formula here? We had a, you had usually the deviations, you calculated the deviations. So you had sigma d by n. Isn't it, children? So what did we have here? Sigma d, that is this assumed mean is 850 or 750. Previous example, we all did with the assumed mean of 850. Now I want you to try it with a different mean, 700 or 750 or 5000. It's up to you. But I want you to use another method to calculate and find the same answers. Just verify if you are going to get the same Okay, when we talk about frequencies, we need to talk about again yet another confusion or a clarification, which is like discrete variables or continuous variables. Do you remember, children, the difference between discrete variables and the continuous variables? When you are talking about weight of students in a particular class, you go for what variables? You can go for continuous variables, because from 30 to 40 also will be there, 40 to 50 also you will have, 50 to 60 also the weight you can calculate. But when you talk about discrete variables, they have exact jumps. Like when you talk about age of the students present in a class, you need to go with what? The discrete variable, because it's an exact jump of 1. You cannot talk about, yes, we say that they are 3 years and 2 months old, but still when you take it for a calculation, you take it as an entire value. The number of members in your household, how many of your families have more than 4 members, how many of your families have 3 members, like that. When you calculate that particular thing, you go with what? The discrete variables, right? So here we are going to have a classification again, where in grouped data we are going to have discrete series and continuous variables, continuous series. Right, children? Today in this video session, we are going to talk about how to calculate the arithmetic mean in this particular format. For grouped distribution, how do you calculate the arithmetic mean? So for discrete method, discrete series, again you have the direct method, you have the assumed mean method, and the step deviation method. When you go for continuous, we are going to have again the direct method and the step deviation method. These are the methods that we are going to discuss today. Right, children? So what are we going to do first? We are going to discuss about discrete series, how to calculate through the direct method, through the assumed mean method, and through the step deviation method. Ready, children? Shall we proceed with the formulas and how we have to calculate the data? We are going to actually get into the classifications and of discrete and continuous variable. Plus, we are going to get into the calculations of these things. So what I want you to do is have your notebook and your pen with you. I want you to work out these problems along with me. Okay, you can pass it, you can work out those problems and then check whether you are doing it rightly. And I want all the problems given in your exercises plus whatever I am going to give you in the worksheets, I want you to work it out in your classwork note, children. So when you are going to submit your economics note the next time, I want you to submit with all the problems worked out. Right, children? So what are we going to talk about now? Calculation of arithmetic mean for what data? We are going to talk about grouped data. For grouped data. First, we are going to talk about discrete series. First, what are we going to do, children? We are going to talk about discrete series. Here, what is the difference between that and this? We are going to have a frequency for each value of the variable. That is what we are going to have here, right, children? Then what? We're going to have the number. Okay, number of plots. These two values are given. So we are going to take that up first. So we have 100 square meter. Then we have 200. And then we have 300. Now the number of households given are 250. Then out of this data, we are going to have these sizes, right? Plot size in square meter is going to be taken as what? Yes. What are we going to take it as? Yes. The observation. And number of plots is going to be taken as the frequency. Frequency means what, children? Usually we talk about frequencies, the number of times it occurs. So 100 marks means how many of them have got 100 marks? That will be calculated as a frequency, right? So similarly only it happens. Similarly only, like 100 square feet house, 200 people have, or 200 plots are there. So that is considered to be the frequency. How do you calculate it? In the first method, the direct method, you are going to find x bar is equal to sigma fx by sigma f or sigma f. Yes, we are going to have sigma f. Right, children? So you need fx now. Sigma f you can find. Sigma means what? The summation. That you can find. Now you need to find fx. Sigma fx. So you are going to have another column called fx. How do you find this fx, children? The multiplication of frequency and the variable will become the fx. Right. So 200 into 100. This is a very simple calculation for us, which is going to give you 20,000. Next, 200 into 50. 10,000. 300 into 10. You're going to have 33,000. So what is the sigma fx, children? 33,000 divided by, what do you need next? We need the sigma f. So what is the total? 200 plus 50 plus 10, you are going to get 260. When we divide it, when we use a calculator and when we are going to divide this value, you are going to get the answer 126.92 square meter. What is the answer, children? What you are going to remember? 126.92 square meter. What? The arithmetic mean. What have they asked you? They have asked you to find the arithmetic mean of the square meter. So we are going to calculate the arithmetic mean of the x, not of the f. So we are going to calculate the x means. X is given in what values, children? What unit of measures? Square kilometer. So you are going to, square meter. So you are going to also use the same in the answer, square meter. Right, children? What are we going to do next? We are going to go with the second method, assumed mean method. But instead of cleaning this side, I'm going to change this particular thing here. What is the answer that we have got to the direct method, children? 126.92. We are going to verify whether we are going to get the same answers in all three methods. Okay? Yes, we are going to calculate it in all three methods. We are not only going to discuss the formulas, but we are going to do the calculations even. For direct method, this much calculation is enough. You have just calculated the sigma fx and you have calculated the sigma f. Why? Because direct method, the formula is sigma fx by sigma f. So this much calculation is enough for what method? Direct method. We are going to move on to the second method, which is called the assumed mean method. What do we do in assumed based on our observation. We have chosen one and then we have divided it. Right? We actually, sorry, not divided. We subtracted that value from x minus a. We calculated a new thing called d. Okay? And it was given by x minus a. What was the formula that we have used for the assumed mean method, children? Do you remember this one? Even in the beginning of the session, we recalled it. We assumed mean method. The formula that we used was a plus sigma d by n. This was a formula for which method, for which ungrouped data. Now we have grouped data. We are going to have frequency. So when you have a frequency, how is this formula going to change? It is going to change as say a plus sigma. Instead of d, what are you going to have? Another value called ft. That is, you are going to multiply the deviations into frequencies. Okay. So fd divided by sigma f. Right, children? You are going to take only the sigma f. So this was for ungrouped data, and this is the formula that you are going to use for grouped data. So what do you want now? What are you going to add in this calculation? You are going to find d first, and then you are going to multiply that with f. Right? You are going to find what? You are going to find d first, and then you are going to multiply it with the value of x. Right. What are we going to do now? D is equal to x minus a. We are going to have x minus a. What is x minus a for us? What? We should have an a first. Right? We have to have an a first. We can take anything. Let us take the value of 200 since it's in the mid. Okay? We'll take 200. Fine. So, x minus a. 200 is our a now. What is our a, children? 200. 200 minus 100. 100. Okay? 200 minus 200. 0. 300 minus 200. This is minus 100. 300 minus 200. 100. What is the one thing that we always have to remember? This deviation is there. Now you're finding it. Whenever you add it, the summation will always be 0. Because half of, whether you have 10 number, 10x or 10 number of variables or 20, even then the deviation summation will be 0 always. Because half will be in minus values, half will be in plus values, and you have a 0. So definitely the answer will be 0. Now what you have to find? You are going to find fd. Right? fd. That is f into d. Minus into plus, you are going to get a minus value. And what is it going to be? Then 0 into f is going to be 0. Right, children? Then 100 into 10 is going to be 1000. So what is your sigma fd, children? You get a value of minus 19,000. What is the value you got? Minus 19,000. So when you put it into your formula, you can get 200 plus minus of 19,000 divided by, what is your sigma f? Already we found it, right, children? 260. When you do the calculations, you will get the same value of 126.92. Okay? You just use a calculator, you divide it and check. I checked it, that's why I am very confident. This minus 19,000 divided by 260 will give you a minus value. Okay? So you will get 200. 200 minus 72 or 73 if I am not wrong, children. Plus of minus 73.0 something here. Okay, 03 I think. So when you minus this 200 is in plus, one more value is in minus. So when you deduct it, you will get 126.92 square meter. The same answer, right? So in the assumed mean method also you get 126.92. The same answer comes in all three methods. They have not given you this calculation in your book. They have just given you the formula, but I want you to do the calculation entirely like this. It's okay if you are going to use the same table commonly for all three methods, but you should go step by step. First, for the direct method, you need sigma fx and sigma f. Stop till there, work it out. Then you move on to the assumed method where you have an a. You can even try it with the formula of 100, children. It will be still the same. Okay? Even with 100, it will be the same. The same answer will come for you. Okay, children. And then you find sigma fd done. What are we going to do next? We are moving on to the third method, which is the step deviation method. So what did we do in the step deviation method for ungrouped data, children? Do you remember? We used a common factor to divide this x minus a. What did we do? We used a common factor to divide this x minus a to find a d dash. Right. So what was the formula then? So the step deviation method. So the formula was a plus sigma d dash by n into c. This was for what data? Ungrouped data. Now we have grouped data. What are we going to have? We are going to have f also with this. So a plus sigma f d dash by sigma f into c. So if you see the common difference between each, c is going to be 100 for us. What is it going to be? 100. What a did we fix? 200. So we already have this also. And we know the sigma f. What should we find now? Sigma f d dash. For that, what do you have to find? D dash. What are we going to find, children? D dash. How do you find d dash? D by a common factor. This value, okay? D by a common factor will give you the d dash value. That means this value divided by the common factor 100 will give you an answer. Minus 100 by 100 minus 1. 0 by 100 0. 100 by 100 1. If you take it again, children, what is the value? 0. Okay? Now you need to multiply d dash into f. 200 into minus 1. What is this? F d dash. 200. Children, you have a lot of values here. Don't get confused. You need to multiply it with the f only. The frequency, not with anything else. So 200 into minus 1 is going to give you minus 200. 50 into 0 is going to give you 0. 10 into 100 is going to give you what? 1000. Sorry. See, this is what I said. You get confused. 10 into your d dash is only 1. So 10 into 1 is 10. So minus 200 plus 10 is going to give you a value of minus 190. What is the value? Minus 190. And what did we discuss? If you take the sigma d dash, okay, and divide it by 100, you will get sigma f dash, isn't it? Because minus 73, and then you get the final answer 126.92 square meter. Hence, in all three methods, you get the same answer. Even in one method, if you get a different answer, that means you have done a mistake somewhere. Okay? In all three methods, what have you got, children? 126.92 square meter. In your book, they have not given the calculations of these two methods. I want you to work it out in your classroom. Right, children? So, for the grouped data, and in that discrete series we have discussed so far, we have discussed about three methods: the direct method, the assume mean method, and the step deviation method. We are now going to proceed with the next method, next series, next kind of variable, which is going to be the continuous series. So far we have spoken about what, children? We have spoken entirely about the discrete series. Now what we are going to do? We are going to move on to the continuous series. Now, unlike an x is a single variable, so you easily take it, multiply, deduct, whatever you want to do. When you talk about frequency distribution, and that too in continuous series, you're going to have an upper class limit, you're going to have a lower class limit. How are you going to find it? Which one are you going to multiply, or which one are you going to minus? Class intervals are given. What are we going to do here? We are going to take the class mark, that is the middle value. Okay? So here even we have what? We have the inclusive series and the exclusive class intervals. Do you remember when you have 0 to 10? Inclusive means you include either the upper class limit or the lower class limit. Exclusive means you don't include both the class limits. Right? So both are given, and how you are going to do is, you are going to have the same method, same formula, same application here also. Okay? And unequal class interval also is going to be there, and you are going to do the calculations for all these methods in a similar way. So here we have discussed only direct method and step deviation method. So we'll stop with discussing about the direct method and step deviation method, and we will continue with the next method in the next class. Okay, children? So we'll be stopping with these two methods of discussions today. So what are we going to do? Calculate average marks of the following students using direct method and step deviation method they have given. Right? What you have to do here? You need to find the midpoints. Do you remember how to find the midpoints, children? Upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by 2 will give you your mid-class points. Right, children? That's how you're going to do it. So, what are the values given? We'll put it in a table, and as usual, we are going to work it out. So, what do we have? Marks, range of marks we have with the upper class limits, lower class limits, and then we have the frequency of each. We don't want this much space because we have lots of data. Continue. So we are going to have the class intervals, marks, and here we are going to have the number of students that have attained it or got it. So this is going to be your x as usual, and this is going to be your f as usual. So what is given? 0 to 10. How many students have got, children? 5 students, right? Then you have 10 to 20. Children, you should see the question and make the table. You should not directly go with the table, okay? I want you to practice the exercise sums properly. So 10 to 20 is 12. Then you have 20 to 30. How many students are there? We have 15 students. Then 30 to 40. We have how many students? 25. And then we have 40 to 50. 8 students. And 50 to 60, we have 3. And 60 to 70, we have how many? 2. So you are going to have this calculation because sigma f is required. Okay. Now what they have asked you to calculate the average marks. First step is direct method. The first method that you are going to use here is direct method. Let's quickly recall what are the formulas that we have already known about direct method. We know x bar is equal to sigma x by n, right? Then we know x bar is equal to sigma fx by sigma f. Now what are we going to use? We are going to go into the direct method where instead of x, what value we are going to take, children? We are going to take m, that is the mid value. So here the formula is x bar is equal to sigma fm by sigma f. The same. Frequency is the same. X alone we are changing it to m. What is that? The mid value of each class. That's going to be a m, and you're going to find another one called fn. Right, children? What are we going to do here? So 0 to 10. 0 plus 10, 10. 10 divided by 2, 1. 10 plus 20, 30. 30 divided by 2, 50. 20 plus 30, 50. 50 divided by 10, 25. 30 plus 40, 70. 70 divided by 2, 35. 40 to 50, 40 plus 50, 90. 90 divided by 2, 45. Then 110. 110 divided by 2, 55. 130, right? 130 divided by 2, 65. Done, children? Now you have got the n values. Are you going to total them up? No, you don't have to total them up. You need only sigma fm and sigma f. So we will have fn. That is, this frequency is going to be multiplied with the n value. F 5 into 5, 25. Then we have 12 into 15, 180. 15 into 25, 375. 25 into 35, 875. 45 into 8, 360. 55 into 5, 165. 2 into 65, 1. Okay. Now what you have to find? You have to find the sigma fn. Use a calculator to do the addition part. Okay? Because you should not miss any data. So when you add it up, you will get. So I'm going to make an easy calculation. 40, 45, 45 plus 5 is 50, 50 plus another 20, 70. So what do we have? 70. We are going to do a calculation of 2110 divided by 70 is going to be 30.14 marks. So what is the average mark, children? What are you going to calculate? You have calculated the average mark. What is the average mark? 30.14 is the average mark calculation that you have got. What method? The direct method, 30.1. Right? Very simple. What you have to do? With x, that is with the continuous series, you are going to find the mid value m, and then you are going to multiply it with the frequency. You are going to get fm. So sigma fm divided by sigma f is going to give you what? Is going to give you the right children? So where the formulas that already we have discussed, children? So we have x bar is equal to a plus sigma d dash by n into c, that was one value. Then we had a plus sigma f d dash by n, that's how we found. What are we going to do here? Step deviation method, we are going to find d dash is equal to m minus a by c. So definitely assumed mean method is also possible. How do you do the assumed mean method? You have to take a step earlier. First you need to find the d, then you have to multiply it with what? With f, and then you have to proceed with the same method of how we have done it in the discrete series. So how are we going to find this d is a change now? Usually we did it with x minus a. What you have to actually do is, here you are going to take the mid values. Wherever you took x, here on for this continuous series, you are going to take the value of what? X minus a is going to be replaced by m minus a. Right. So you are going to have m minus a, and a we are going to take from the mid values. Where you have to find the a from? Yes, should be from this. Okay, you can take any value. But since it's in center, we have taken 35. But you can try it with 5 or 15 or 25, anything. Okay, with anything you can find, and it will be the same answer that I promise you. And then the common factor, the difference is 10. Right. So we are going to find, as usual, our usual method, d is equal to x minus a. Here we are going to have m minus a, and then we are going to have d dash, then we are going to have f d dash. Right children? So what is going to be our d? M minus a, 5 minus 35. What is 5 minus 35? Minus 30. 15 minus 35. Be sure you are taking this value. Minus 20. 25 minus 35. Minus 10. 35 minus 35. 0. 45 minus 35. 10. 55 minus 35. 20. 65 minus 35. 30. Again, if you calculate, you will get a value of 0, because half of in negative values and half are positive values, so you get 0. Now what you are going to do? D dash, that is d by c, is your d dash. So divided by 10. Minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is also going to be 0. What you need? You need to multiply f into d dash. Okay? 5 into minus 3, you are going to get minus 15. Then 12 into minus 2, you are going to get minus 24. 15 into minus 1, you are going to get minus 15. Then 25 into 0, 0, 8, 1, 8. 3 into 2, 6. 2 into 3, 6. So now you need to find the sigma f d dash. Okay? When you find it, you get an answer of minus 34. So applying it in the formula, which is going to be a plus sigma f d dash by sigma f into c. We're going to have, what is your a? What is the a value that you have chosen, children? 35 plus minus 34 divided by 70 into 10. Okay? You will get an answer of the same 30.14 marks. Okay? From the assuming method also, we are going to get the same answer. What answer have we got? 30.14 marks. They have asked you to calculate the average marks, and that is the reason you have calculated it with the same unit of measurement marks. So what are the other things that two interesting problems will always result to what? 0. X minus x bar. Sorry, x minus x bar is always equal to what? 0. The summation of it is going to be 0. Right children? The sum of the deviations of items of arithmetic mean is always equal to 0 and is affected by the large values at any extreme point. For example, when you have a huge fluctuation at the top or the bottom, it is going to change the average in any method because in between it's different. But at the top or bottom you have, because it's just a summation divided by the number of observations, so it is going to affect. Okay, one more small topic regarding mean is that talking about the weighted arithmetic mean, though it is not used in many situations, yes, there are some situations where you are going to talk about weighted arithmetic mean. Where do you talk about weighted arithmetic mean? When you have two different products and when you want to compare the importance of both the products, not the average, but the importance of two different products. Okay, so which is strong more, water or cold weight? So mostly people go for what? Water. So the weightage, the importance given to a particular product will also make a change in the average of it, and that is called as the weighted arithmetic mean, and it is given by sigma wx by sigma w. That is, each value is given a weight, each variable is given a weight, and that is calculated. But as of class 11, we are going to discuss in this particular chapter only about the arithmetic mean, weighted arithmetic mean. Yes, we are going to discuss in the future chapters to talk especially about chapter 8. We will be discussing about weighted arithmetic mean. As of now, the arithmetic mean is completed. I want you to go through all the methods, grouped data, ungrouped data, discrete, continuous and everything. I want you to work out that, the related sums in your classwork mode. The next video session will be meeting up with our discussion on median. Right children? I want you to complete arithmetic mean before we start median. Right children? So thank you and may all have